Meowdy howdy. Guess who hasn't finished this reference sheet yet? That right, at me. I have not finished this reference sheet. And Art Fight do be coming up. In fact, I think Art Fight, the teams get announced tomorrow. I should have looked at that before I started recording, since I knew I was going to end up talking about Art Fight, because this reference sheet is, in preparation for Art Fight. I'm opening Discord on my phone because in the Art Fight Discord server, it converts to my time zone. It's not tomorrow. It's for my time zone. The reveal is on June 24th at 10:30 AM. For some reason, I thought it was 23rd. I'm thinking I'm probably going to do some vlogging during Art Fight. Sketch layer. Might as well merge these two layers, I think. These two. I mean, there's no reason to keep them apart. But yeah, I'll probably do some vlogging during Art Fight, I think. I don't know. I'm inclined to say yes. So I might have some extra videos around that on my Patreon. I also really want to work on comics more, but it's just getting the motivation to do that. Like, the feeling when you really want to do something, but you also just, ugh. And then I have some real life stuff that might interfere a little bit with how often I'm drawing, which is also annoying and not very fun. It is 7 AM, I didn't know that. We're just starting with the hair today. Did I colour pick the other one's hair instead of using the dots? Yes, I did. Goofy. There. I ended up deciding to change my Mindzoner's hair to red because my real life hair is red at the moment, and I have a lot of red hair dye, so I'm probably going to have red hair for quite a while. In theory, I have a lot of red hair dye. I've just noticed that it was sitting on my desk, but now it is not on my desk. It must have gotten knocked to the floor, so I should really dig that up and put it somewhere safe, rather than leaving it on the floor. But then I also have I bought 2 little tubs of red hair dye, and the other red hair dye is sitting at my grandparents' place at the moment, because I left it in their bathroom because I use their bathroom. I'm inclined to, I think I'll probably put the more personal type of stuff on my Patreon, just because I feel like when it comes to the internet, a person should always be careful about how much personal stuff they put online. So, at least if I put it on my Patreon, I'm limiting the amount of people who can see it a lot more. And then I can just put more just general vlogs that aren't too personal up here. I only have 1 tier on Patreon at the moment because, no one's on my Patreon, so why bother putting the focus into more tiers when it just isn't needed at the moment? Maybe one day that will improve if I actually get started on these comics that I want to do. I feel like I spend more time talking about comics than actually working on them. As I mentioned in another video, Holly is doing 30 days of comics, and I might give that a go. I just have to look into the specifics about it. And of course, if you have any questions about the way I do colouring or the way I do art, you can feel free to comment those. I feel like I've been talking too much about exactly what I'm doing as I draw. Or maybe that's the preferred thing. I don't know. I don't know how much detail y'all want when it comes to me doing the draw. What colour eyebrows did I do? Brown eyebrows. Yeah. should I do this long tuft at the bottom before the face? No, let's do the face first. And I will probably end up having more details I add around the page. I should add a little drawing here that shows the hair worn loose, so people have an idea of what that would look like. Would I want to do the same thing again, where it shows the back view of the hair? Have two little images here, maybe? Difficult decision. Let me just... Right, let's do a little dawdle that would show what the hair would look like loose, just using this as our base. So it probably wouldn't look that different, it would mostly just cover up the undercut. Yeah. I am experiencing thoughts. Okay, and then that part, obviously the front part would look the exact same. I think maybe they do have a little tuft of short hair there, that's why that's there. Could probably still have this long bit of hair brushed over the front. Maybe a little bit more, since a bit more from the back might be clumped into it. There. I like. And then the neck. Oh, you can't see that anymore because of the hair. We'll have it so it's only this part of it, I think. Yeah. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. The back. Bloop, 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 bloop. Do I want to have a little square around this? Wait, thank you. Either Seraphina or Terry are going nuts in the main room playing with a mouse. A toy mouse, obviously. No. There we go. I think just this one angle showing the hair for that will be fine, actually. You. Is there fine? Maybe there. And then with that one, we'll keep the sketch layer, I think. copy, squish you down, get rid of you for a moment, paste, yeah, and then I'll just colour that in, I guess. I think that will do. I'm having a brain fart here. Am I actually recording audio? I am recording audio. What colour did I use for that sketch? Did I use brown for writing there? Because it looks kind of brown to me, or are my eyeballs just not correct? Yeah, it is a little bit brown. Why did I use a brown there? Let's... No. Here, when loose. There we go. Might as well actually quickly colour that little scoochel there, because I think we will do a extremely non-detailed version there, because it's so much easier to colour it when it's got lines. I say, and then it immediately does that. Oh, I see where the gap in the line art is. Alright. There's lots of gaps. I guess when your primary art style is lineless, you don't get into the habit of connecting your lines. Oops. I was gonna have this post on Friday, but I might still have it posted on Friday, but I might have this post at 12:15 AM and then do another art video for 12:15 PM. Dunno. Don't know how often I'll be posting the vlogs if I do post vlogs for Art Fight. Guess we'll wait and see how I feel during Art Fight and how much drawing I end up doing. How many days is there in the month of Art Fight? I'm looking briefly at another tab. I don't think you can see what I'm doing on this other tab, because it will only be recording my Clip Studio, I think. Last Art Fight, I did 28 attacks. And there is 30 days, no, 31 days. So I think 31 drawings is a good amount to aim for. No, one drawing a day. I don't know, I'll put more thought into this later. And more when I have an idea of what things I have to do during July. There. There we go. Merge that in. I guess I don't really need to colour pick for the eyebrows, it's just brown. Wow, I didn't even close the lines for the eye. I'm so talented at not closing lines. Yay me. Why close lines when you can just make it a problem for your future self? Lock that for a moment. Skin. That'll do, that'll do. It looks a little bit funny. Let's add some frickly littles. I think if you're colour picking and using colours from there, you might end up doing their skin a little bit greyish. So I guess this isn't the most awesome reference sheet in the world. But you know what? I'm still learning the arts of reference sheets. That's fine. That's whatever. And they have burns on their arms. On their forearms, to be specific, so you can't really see it on that back arm. A little bit of white. There we go. Oops, I merged that layer before it was ready to be merged. Unmerge that, please. Thank you. I need some white. There. And now some more white. And then let's do the yellow part of the eye. Yellow. Yellow is my favourite colour. My second favourite colour is pink. There we go. That'll do. Freckle on the lip. Alright, what colour do we have for the shirt? Grey. Might go with a slightly lighter grey. And then honestly just leave it flat grey. Because I don't know that the colour details particularly matter in this sketch. In this little drawing here at least. Because, you know, it's just kind of giving an idea of what the hair looks like when it's not tied up into a bun. Yeah. Easy McPeasy. Now let's lock that again, unlock you, and resume the thing I was working on. That's the word for it. Right, skin. That's a bit goofy. I'm going to need to fix that up a little bit, aren't I? Oh. That explains it. Usually I don't use the fill tool for this. So of course it's going to look a little bit wonky. Oop, wrong thing. Here. Freckles. Let's add our crunch layer. Crunch Wrap Supreme. Crunch. A little more crunch, please. Crunchy, crunchy, crunch. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I'd actually like to add a little bit more freckly freaks. And that works. That works. What colour did I do the lips on this one? Sorry, it's early in the morning, I don't have a huge amount to say. I still have a lot more reference sheets I'd like to make before Art Fight, ideally. It's just getting the motivation to do them, and I think I've talked plenty about how I don't really force myself to do things. And that's probably kind of a bad trait, because maybe sometimes I need to force myself to do things. But I'm very good at avoidance, and that is probably one of my very biggest flaws, how good I am at avoiding things. Like, is anything ever really a problem if you simply avoid it? No, it is not. But obviously, not everything can be avoided forever. I should probably make like a list of characters I need to make reference sheets for. I did have a list because I have Trello, but I haven't logged into it on this computer. And I think I had a list on there. But yeah, I haven't logged into Trello on this computer, so I'd had to turn on my laptop to get that list. And to get my login for Trello, to be honest, because I don't know it. That's, I think, is the downside to getting a new device, is having to log into things again. And honestly, I don't remember the logins for most of my accounts. And I refuse to use a password manager, because I don't trust them. So I'm sorry, but if I ever get sponsorships and I shill for a password manager, it's a lie. I can't imagine any password manager would want to sponsor me if I've made that statement. Like, oh yes, let's get the person who says they don't like password managers to be sponsored by the password manager. That'll work great. It'll be so believable. Ah, right, we're on a glow layer still, so that doesn't work. I think adding glow to the eye is one of my favourite things, because I just think it looks neat. I can't remember if I talked about this in the house flipper video, and there was also another video I recorded but I ended up just deleting because my phone was being stubborn about uploading it. But my birthday be coming up, and I'd love to go. I'm planning on saving up for my birthday being in September. I'm planning on saving up for that and going to an art supply store called the Drawing Room and getting a bunch of art supplies, and then probably making a video about that. Maybe I'll do a haul video and then a video using some of the art supplies. And so I'm saving up for that, but if you want to help me save up for that, or help me save up for vet bills, honestly, because I would like to get my cats in for checkups, because I think they could use some checkups, and I'm sure they're all due some vaccinations. So if you want to commission me to help me save up for either of those things, I would very much appreciate it. Oh, wrong brush. I already have a list of art supplies in mind that I would really love to get. They're just some of my favourite art supplies, and then also a couple of things I haven't actually used before. So if I can save up and do that for my birthday that is in September, I can talk about some of my favourite art supplies and tell you all about them. I mean, either way I'm going to save up an amount. It's just, don't know how much I'll manage to save up, and obviously the more people that commission me the better, because then the more I can do. And the better off my cats are, because, well, I'm going to get the cats in for their vet checks either way. It's just how quickly I can do that. I actually need to find out how much exactly the vets are going to be, find out how much potentially their vaccination updates will be, that kind of thing. And I think Lily might have asthma, so, you know, find out how much whatever she needs is going to be. Because I'm sure Lily would enjoy being able to breathe a little bit better if she does have asthma. There. I got that Kia's versatile brush, but I don't know that I ever really used it. Like, do I like that brush? I don't know, because I don't know if I ever used it. Like, I assume it works kind of similar to the Cherries brush that I do use, but I could not say for sure. Do I want to do a little test of it? I have a little bit of space for testing this brush. Okay, so it's got some funky texture. It's supposedly a versatile brush. So could you use it as a sketch brush if it was small enough? We're just doing this to get the sizing idea. That's the thing I like about digital art too, is the fact you can delete layers so easily. So you can do things like this and have it be horrifically messy, and then after some refining, it doesn't matter. None of the messiness matters. It's very easy to hide the messiness. I mean, I don't hate it as far as sketching with it that goes so far, but let's see how it goes when attempting to refine. Not the worst, not the worst. It would be interesting to do a painting all in one layer with this brush. Maybe I'll do that for my next video. Do something all in one layer and use this brush for it. Definitely comment if that's something you're interested in seeing. Freckles, freckles, freckles. Head shape. My wrist kind of hurts a little bit, which is not nice. That's the downsides to tendinitis. I do have a wrist thing for it now that helps a tiny bit. I also do have anti-inflammatories, but I don't take those every day. I don't think you're really meant to be on those for too long a term, but honestly they're the only thing I have in terms of managing the ouchness, so, I think it's funny that I love drawing characters wearing turtlenecks so much, because I don't actually own any turtlenecks in real life. Maybe I need to buy a turtleneck. There we go. Ow. Can I turn this? I love when a brush has it so I can turn the stabilization up, because it allows me to do quicker motions without it being as scribbly. You know what, I think that is actually pretty alright. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Do I want it to have a box like the one below it? Let me steal the box. Copy, paste. Right. And then, wait, let me line it up. You, lock. You, lock. Just so I don't accidentally mess with you. Let me line it up a little bit. There we go. And now let's get rid of the innards, the innard guts. Bloop. Okay. Lock that layer, I guess, just so we don't mess with it. Oh, wrong. We're on the wrong tool. Yeah, and now we'll colour in the sketch, and we'll just use the same brush still, just to see how it goes. And then we'll mush those together and mush them onto that other one. It'll be fine. I guess if I added more in the back, this could be more of the hair down version. Lock that. I need to use that flux marker too and figure out if I like that. I mean, I like the texture to this brush. I mean, stabilization down now that I'm colouring. I think the texture to it is nice, but I think the texture, it's not entirely the opacity. It kind of varies depending on where in the stroke you are. So I think that would interfere a bit if I were to do a painting all in one layer using this brush. Like, I don't think it's the most suited for that. I did have a brush that I liked doing the painting all in one layer with, but I don't remember what brush that was, and I don't think I have it anymore because I think I lost it somehow. Or it's still on my laptop, I don't know. I don't do digital art on my laptop anymore though. So why would I? Don't think I'm going to get this reference sheet done today if I keep getting sidetracked by random little additions to the sheet, like adding these two little portraits. But you know, maybe that's not such a bad thing. I really should get that list of reference sheets off, or at least I should get my Trello login so I can see it from my computer. There we go. A little bit too dark, I think. What do you look like without that? Nope, wrong layer. What do you look like without that, is what I mean. I think some sections are a little bit more transparent than they should be. There. I have so many layers here and it is bugging me. I usually, when I'm drawing, I try to stick to as few layers as possible. Which I think is why I keep thinking about doing a one layer thing. Just because it's only one layer. There's less things to think about. For me, when I have lots of layers, it almost feels like mental clutter. Like, I know it isn't in my brain, it's on the program, but it just all feels, or I guess I see all the layers and it's visual clutter. It just feels cluttered and it bugs me. I keep accidentally removing the wrong layer. I feel like this brush doesn't blend as much as what the other brush I prefer using does. So in that way it's not as good. But I guess if you've got a messy art style where you don't want it to blend as much, maybe this is the brush for you. It kind of depends on what your goal is with your art, but I guess that's most things. A tool will either work for you or not based on how you use it and what your goal is. Can't remember what time my grandparents had their appointments at today. I know it was early in the morning. Early for my granddad at least, because he doesn't really tend to wake up early unless he absolutely has to. And when he has work, he does have to get up early. He's on holiday at the moment from work, which is good because he really needs it, but he's also looking forward to getting back to work because he gets bored. But when he has work on his day shift, these day shifts, he goes to work at like really early in the morning. Fricklies. I still have a whole bunch of characters from Star Rail that I'd like to try drawing, and maybe using this brush for them would actually be really cool. Like, I think this kind of style would suit those characters a lot. My tablet actually went flat today while I was recording an episode of a video of Star Rail, which I think is a little bit rude, and I will probably put that video and stitch it together with another recording just so it keeps a longer kind of length. Oop, I keep doing the wrong layer again. The eyes are not quite even. Whoopsie whoopsie. And I did not realize how long I had been recording for either. So I don't even think I'm going to finish that full body art in this video. There. Mush them down. I think I will use this brush, but I don't think it's going to be like a regular part of what I use. Like, I think I'll give it a try with doing art all in one layer, and we'll see how it goes with that. And then if I like it, I'll probably only use it then. But I go through phases when it comes to if I want to do the art all in one layer or not. So, yes, it will vary on how often I actually end up using it. But honestly, I think most people who use Clip Studio or art programs where you can add brushes end up with a lot of brushes that they don't use. Like, if you can download brushes, I feel like it's just a thing that you're going to end up downloading a bunch of brushes that you don't use. I know some people make their own brushes, but honestly, I like the brushes I've been using, and every so often I download a new brush and I like that brush, but I just don't have the interest in trying to make my own brushes. Fricklies. You know, I think this is pretty okay so far. And I probably will end up doing that attempt to use this brush, but only do one layer for the whole painting. It might be fun. Maybe I'll do that during art fight, do a bunch of one layer stuff just because they tend to be quick. If you're watching this and you don't understand what art fight is, I guess I can do a little explanation of my understanding of art fight. So every art fight, there is 2 teams. What was last year's teams called? You'd think that'd be something I would remember. But no, it is not something I remember. Last year was Bloom versus Wither. So each year are teams like that. And the whole point is you score points by drawing a character that belongs to someone on the other team. So each art piece you draw will get a certain amount of points based on things on it. So an example would be one of my attacks was a headshot, but it was fully shaded, so that got an amount of points. It had one character, it was a drawing, it was lineless, it was painted, and the background was pattern/abstract, so it got 35 points. And then, where's one of my more efforty ones? That one has 2 characters, I think. Yeah, and then another one of mine has 2 characters, it's a drawing, it was lineless, it was painted, it was fully shaded, it had a scene as the background, and it was polished, so it got 154 points. So each team is attacking the other team and trying to get points by doing these artworks for the other team, and then the team with the most points wins that year. And this happens every single year for July. And on the 24th, in New Zealand time that is, they're revealing this year's teams. And you can also attack someone who attacked you first. So if you're attacking in response, that's a revenge. And you can keep it up, 2 people attacking back and forth. That would be a chain. So it would all chain together, so you can keep track of that chain if you really wanted to. And I think it is very neat. I look forward to Art Fight every year. This is going to be my 4th year. I think before the first year I actually did anything, I did plan on joining, but I don't know why I just did not end up doing anything that year. But then once I did join, I've been doing it every year since then, and each year I try to do a little bit more than I did the year before. But I'll never measure up to one of the other ones that do art fights, Six Spain. They do an insane amount of attacks every single year. They're a little bit nuts, I think. But it is kind of amazing to see all the art they do every single year for art fight. There we go. I wonder how long that tablet of mine is going to take to charge, because I would like to finish that video that I was recording when it went flat. And then there's the fact that it's going to have a little bit of editing, so I can edit the two clips together. Bit rude of my tablet to go flat, especially since it was plugged into the charger, but I guess it was just the battery was a little too low, and I don't think the charger was plugged in quite all the way into the socket. So I think it just wasn't charging that well. And too dark. Okay, now the shirt. I want it to be kind of bluish, because I think that's the kind of greyish blue I've been using so far. Blonk, 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 blonk. At least this brush doesn't go slow when you size it up to scribble big areas. It's always a plus of any brush, because it's annoying when you size up a brush and it starts going really slow. And I do use somewhat big canvases. I mean, the perk of a computer is this computer handles it way better than my laptop does when I have huge canvases. But also, not long before I stopped using my laptop, I did notice that the memory on it was actually getting quite full, and that was probably part of the problem. It just did not have much space left. It's got space left now because I deleted a bunch of crap off it because I didn't need it on that laptop anymore. It's all on an external hard drive that I keep plugged into this computer now. So. But also, you can never have too much storage, is my opinion. So I'm probably going to end up adding more storage eventually. This is a very messy colouring style, I think, but at the same time, I don't dislike it. A little bit too light. Oh, did I go a little bit below? What are those black lines from? Oh. Oh, I see what they're from. I'll have to clean it up a little bit later. I could clean it up now, but I don't want to. Okay, let's do that last little bit of skin colour. I keep accidentally clicking on the wrong one of those. Last little bit of skin colour. And then, as a lazy way of dealing with the transparency, we can just duplicate layer a couple of times to thicken it up. Ta-da! And then we can get rid of this layer because we don't need to keep it. And then I think we'll just duplicate this layer and do the shading on top of that because that keeps us within. Obviously you want the underneath to be the darker part. I don't think any attacks I do with this kind of art style will be able to be considered polished somehow, because I don't think anyone would look at that and go, yeah, that seems like a polished piece of artwork to me. Like, I don't think it matters how much time I spend on that kind of art style. I don't think anyone would look at it and think polished, necessarily. I'm going to Cheaty McCheaterson. Here we go. Give me this brush. Duplicate layer. Give me my brush again. There we go. We now have a lovely little drawing. I like that. I like how that turned out. I think it definitely adds to the reference sheet to have these two little drawings. Like, it definitely makes the sheet feel a little bit more filled out. Alright, and now we can fix up those little tiny bits that were at the bottom. There we go. Easy peasy fix. Oop. There we go. But I think that is all for this video. I know I barely managed to do anything of this full figure because I got distracted doing these two other bits, but oh well. We still got to chat and art for a long time, and as usual, if you did any drawing or art or of any kind while watching or listening to this video, I would love to see it. I will see you later. Ta-ta.